I was standing in my mom's backyard, staring at pastel plastic eggs scattered across the grass, when she leaned close to my ear and whispered, "Please don't make a scene." My sister's kids were already running toward the eggs, squealing with excitement. And mine weren't even invited. That was the exact moment something inside me snapped, and I realized this Easter brunch was never about no kids. It was about which kids mattered. But to understand how I ended up standing there, shaking with anger while clutching my car keys like a weapon, I need to take you back a few weeks earlier, because this didn't start with an egg hunt. It started with a text message. "You're still coming to Easter brunch, right?" my mom texted 3 weeks before Easter. I was at my kitchen table, helping my 8-year-old son with homework while my 5-year-old daughter colored bunnies beside us. I smiled, typed back, "Of course. What time?" There was a pause. Then another text popped up. "Just a heads up, we're keeping it adults only this year. No kids. Too chaotic last time." I reread it twice. Adults only? Easter? That already felt weird. Easter had always been about kids. Candy, baskets, egg hunts. But I figured maybe Mom was overwhelmed. She'd been saying she was tired a lot lately. I typed, "Oh, okay. I'll see if I can get a sitter." She replied with a thumbs up emoji. Something about that emoji annoyed me more than it should have, but I let it go. At least I tried to. Here's the thing you need to know about my family dynamic. I was the older daughter, the responsible one, the one who never caused trouble. And my younger sister, Lily, she was the golden child, the favorite, the one who needed more support, according to Mom. Growing up, Lily got away with everything. Missed curfew? She's sensitive. Bad grades? School just isn't her thing. Meanwhile, I got lectured for getting a B+. If you've lived this dynamic, you already know where this is going. And if you were in my shoes back then, would you have pushed back or swallowed it like I always did? I didn't argue about Easter brunch. I just sighed and started texting babysitters. That's when the first crack appeared. Every sitter I contacted was either booked or charging holiday rates I couldn't afford. I mentioned this casually to Mom on the phone a few days later. She said, "Well, if you can't come, I understand." Not, "I'll help you." Not, "We'll figure something out." Just, "If you can't come." That stung. Then she added, almost as an afterthought, "Lily's still coming, obviously." I hesitated. She found a setter already? Silence. Just a little too long. "Well," Mom said, clearing her throat, "Lily's situation is different." Different how? I didn't ask. I didn't want to start something. But that night, after I hung up, I had a bad feeling twisting in my stomach. The kind you try to ignore, but it keeps you awake anyway. A week before Easter, Lily posted a picture on Instagram. Her kids, in matching pastel outfits, captioned, "Can't wait for the Easter egg hunt at Grandma's," with a bunny emoji. I stared at my phone like it had slapped me. Egg hunt? Adults only? My hand started shaking. I refreshed the post, hoping I'd misread it. Nope, there it was. Comments from relatives saying things like, "So cute," and "Grandma always goes all out." That's when I realized something was seriously wrong. I texted Lily immediately. "Hey, just saw your post. I thought Mom said Easter brunch was no kids." She replied almost instantly, "Oh, yeah, she just meant no extra kids, like friends' kids. Ours don't count." Ours, as in hers. I typed, deleted, typed again. "So your kids are coming?" "Yeah," she wrote. "Mom insisted. She already planned the egg hunt and everything." Egg hunt? Everything? I felt heat rush to my face. So what about mine? There were 3 dots, then they disappeared, then 3 dots again. "She didn't say," Lily finally replied, "but you know how she gets stressed. Maybe it's better this way." Better for who? I didn't respond. I just put my phone down and stared at the wall. My daughter walked over and asked, "Mommy, can we do an egg hunt too?" And I broke. I went to my bedroom, shut the door, and cried silently so my kids wouldn't hear. Not because of the egg hunt itself, but because this wasn't new. This was just the latest reminder that in my family, my kids were always optional. If you were watching this happen to your own children, what would you have done next? I decided I wasn't going to confront anyone. Not yet. I wanted to see how far they'd take it. And I wanted proof, because I was done being told I was imagining things. So Easter morning came. I told my kids I had to run an errand. I didn't mention brunch. I couldn't. I dropped them at a friend's house and drove to my mom's place anyway. I didn't plan to stay long. I just wanted to confirm what I already knew. The moment I pulled up, I saw balloons tied to the fence, pastel colors, a giant inflatable bunny near the patio. My stomach dropped. I parked down the street and walked up quietly. I could already hear kids laughing, high-pitched squeals, the sound of plastic eggs clattering on concrete. I rounded the corner into the backyard, and there it was, an Easter egg hunt, full setup, color-coded baskets, my sister's kids running wild, faces smeared with chocolate, Lily crouched with her phone, filming them, my mom clapping and laughing like this was the happiest day of her life. I stood frozen. No one noticed me at first. That's when Lily looked up. Her smile vanished. She stood quickly. "What are you doing here?" I glanced around, then back at her. I was invited, wasn't I? My mom turned, saw me, and her face tightened. "You came." "Yes," I said, "I came." And that's when she said it, the line that still echoes in my head. "I told you no kids." I laughed. I couldn't help it. A short, sharp laugh. "Right, no kids." I gestured to the yard. "So what do you call this?" My mom's cheeks flushed. "This is different." Different. That word again. Lily stepped in quickly. "Please don't do this here. The kids, my kids aren't even here," I snapped, "because you told me they weren't welcome." The backyard went quiet. Even the kids stopped for a second, sensing tension. My mom grabbed my arm and pulled me aside. "Please don't embarrass me." "Embarrass you?" "You lied to me," I said quietly. "You said no kids. You didn't say no my kids." She sighed dramatically. "You're overreacting." That's when I realized this conversation wasn't about Easter. It was about something much bigger, something I'd been avoiding my whole life. But what happened next, I didn't expect, and it changed everything. Because while we were arguing, my phone buzzed, a notification from my email, and what I saw there gave me all the leverage I didn't even know I had. I glanced down, expecting spam. Instead, I saw a subject line that made my heart stop. Property trust update, action required. Property, trust. My mom had never mentioned a trust to me, ever. I opened the email. My hands were trembling now, not just from anger, but from adrenaline. It was from a law firm, addressed to both me and Lily. That's when I realized something massive was about to come out. I looked up at my mom, who was still hissing. "Just leave if you're going to cause drama." I smiled. And if you know me, you know that smile meant trouble. "Actually," I said, holding up my phone, "I think we should all sit down." "What?" Lily asked, confused. "I just got an email," I said slowly, "about the trust." My mom's face went white, dead white. "Where did you get that?" she demanded. "So there is a trust," I said. Fun how that never came up. The kids started playing again, oblivious. The adults, frozen. My mom opened her mouth, then closed it. "What trust?" Lily asked. I turned to my sister. "You didn't know?" She shook her head. That's when my mom snapped. "This is not the time." "Oh, I think it is," I said, "since we're already deciding who counts as family today. If you were watching this unfold, would you have stayed or walked away?" I stayed, because for the first time in my life, I wasn't the one without information. We moved inside. The brunch table was perfectly set. Name cards, fancy dishes, a place for everyone. Except, of course, my kids. I sat down anyway. The silence was thick. You could hear forks clink, someone's phone buzz, the faint laughter from outside. Finally, Lily said, "Can someone explain what's going on?" I opened the email again. "Apparently, Mom set up a property trust years ago, and it's being updated." My mom crossed her arms. "That was for estate planning." "And you never thought to mention it?" I asked. "You didn't need to know." That sentence right there. That was the moment I stopped caring about keeping the peace. "Well," I said, "the email says I do need to know, because I'm listed as a beneficiary." Lily's eyes widened. "We both are?" I nodded. "Looks like it." My mom looked like she wanted to disappear. So I continued. "I'm curious. Was this another different situation? Or were you planning to cut me out quietly too?" That's when the truth started spilling out. And trust me, you're not ready for what she admitted next. She confessed that the original trust listed both of us equally, but a few months ago she tried to amend it, to give Lily a larger share. Why? "Because Lily needs stability," she said, like it was obvious. "You're fine. You always are. Always fine." I laughed again. "You were going to take from her?" "I wasn't taking," Mom said sharply. "I was adjusting." Adjusting. That was the third word of the day that made my blood boil. Here's the twist they didn't see coming. I leaned back and said, "You can't." "What do you mean?" my mom asked. "I mean," I said calmly, "the amendment hasn't gone through."
She frowned. Of course it has.
No, I replied, because I'm the one who owns the property. Silence. Lily blinked. What? I took a breath. This was the moment, the power reclaim moment, the one I didn't even know I'd been preparing for years. Dad left his share to me, I said. Not you, not Lily, me. My mom's face twisted. That's not true. It is, I said, and I've been paying the property taxes for 5 years, quietly, because you asked me to help out. Lily stared at our mom. Is that true? Mom didn't answer. So the trust, Lily whispered, was built on something she didn't fully own, I said, which means she can't legally change it without my consent. You could hear a pin drop. That email? It was the law firm realizing the mistake. And suddenly, everything made sense. The favoritism, the pressure, the lies. My mom stood up abruptly. You did this on purpose. I shook my head. No, I just stopped protecting you. I stood too, and I'm done. I walked out of that house while my sister cried and my mom shouted after me. I didn't stay for brunch. I didn't watch the rest of the egg hunt. I went to get my kids. That afternoon, we had our own egg hunt in our small backyard, plastic eggs from the dollar store, laughter that felt real. A week later, the trust was corrected, split fairly. My mom stopped calling. Lily apologized. But here's the thing. I didn't feel victorious. I felt free. I learned that peace bought with silence isn't peace at all, and love that comes with conditions isn't love. I won't go back to being fine for someone else's comfort. So tell me, if you were in my shoes, would you forgive them? Or would you walk away like I did? Because sometimes the biggest win isn't the inheritance. It's choosing yourself.